As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. There has been a very red market this week, and in times like these, then we are very happy that we are not alone. A lot of us had a very red stock portfolio or index portfolio, so not really very fun to watch. When we're looking at the market, then we can see we're really not alone. And I wanted to go in a bit deeper on our cultured meat stocks, but also look at how we compare with some of the other tech stocks. So a very important index for tech stocks, at least for US tech stocks, that's the QQQ. QQQ follows the Nasdaq except for the financial stocks, so it's pretty much tech. So this is tech, and when we're tracking it for this year, we see we had some major sell-off points here. This is the Evergrande sell-off, where everyone thought, oh no, we're going to have 2008 again. And now we're seeing the Omicron sell-off. Oh no, we're going to have April 2020 again. But actually the sell-off is not as big as in April 2020 or March 2020 so far. So it's been quite limited. Nothing that's keeping me up at night. Actually, the April 2020 sell-off didn't keep me up at night either. This is just something that is transitory, a word that's pretty cursed. But what we're seeing is that the Nasdaq has been going up pretty steadily, and that there is a trend line. But when we look in this trend line, we are seeing that we might not have hit the bottom yet. So we had an extremely well month of October, and now it's normal that we're seeing a little bit of sell-off. The market is nervous for every bit of bad news. I do think we will be seeing the bottom somewhere next week, unless people are saying, whoa, Omicron virus is even more deadly than the Delta virus. Personally do not see that happening, but we'll have to wait for more data on that. I think right now the market is just pricing in uncertainty, so I think we don't need to worry about, but I think the Nasdaq will probably drop for another 5% the coming days, or at least have a week where it's a little bit doubtful before it's taking its next upturn. So this sentiment also explains what we saw on some of the cultured meat stocks. So we have Agronomics here. That's the first one. I'm going to go to the day chart. And what do we see? We see we've had a sell-off alongside the rest of the market from November. So when Omicron was discovered up till now. So I don't really see any, I don't see any reason for concern. We're just following the market. And we saw the latest low point here that I compare with. That was in August, and that was after the major dilution. I think it was 100 or 200% dilution. And we had a sell-off all the way up to this point. So we're very near that point. I don't think we will actually hit that point. I don't think we will hit that point. I think this will be a very strong support line. And actually, when we're looking at the very last bit, we see that the last day on Friday, there was a major battle, the bulls versus the bears. And we're seeing actually a little bit of green here at the end. So that might indicate we are already seeing the bottom. What it also makes a different situation than in March, I have another line drawn here, and this is the NAV value of the company. So what are we seeing here? That the NAV value has been gone steadily up. So this one was the NAV from September, and this one is the NAV I predict at the end of December, unless we're seeing some more investments done by Agronomics. I think in December we're going to be around here. That means our NAF in the last year, it's never been closer to the value of the actual stock in a very, very long time. And what we're seeing is, yeah, the NAF has been going steadily up. It's been booming. So if we would draw a trend line for the NAF, it would be something like we're seeing here. So I originally predicted that with the speed the NAF is rising, we would see parity with the share price somewhere in 16 months if the share price would just be still. Of course, that won't be the case, but now we're actually much closer to that. So, in other words, my theory is that Agronomics is going to might have already seen the bottom or is going to see the bottom very, very soon next week. Unless we get some really bad news from the market coming in, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. I really don't. Yeah, we had the same fears with the Delta when it came, and yeah, again, I'm not a biologist, but I think if you're waiting to buy Agronomics, if you wanted a buying point, I think you're looking at probably one of the best you had in the last 12 months. So the other cultured meat stock I'm looking at is MITC. So very, very different pattern. MITC, Meatech, it's not following the market. So MITC, difference is, yeah, of course, it's been on the market a lot less longer. So we had the usual 6 months drop when stocks have an IPO all the way to 481. And what we saw here in September, we got some incredible good news here. We had basically DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio's investing or at least partnering with Meatech. Not sure exactly what the arrangement was, but this caused a boost. They basically stated they would want to make Meatech one of the most important companies in this cultured meat sector, a sector that will explode in probably next year. I think next year, the beginning of next year, we'll probably see the very first approvals for cultured meat, and I'm thinking we might already see them in Q1. I have a little fragment from Jim Mellon. Have a look at this one.
And I guess the other barrier is the regulatory side. I mean, you've obviously got a portfolio. I mean, how risky is the field overall, and how will that risk change with sort of the regulators you're anticipating kind of regulatory overview?
Okay, this is an important question. So in terms of regulation, it again depends on the product. There is no regulation really for leather or materials because we don't eat them. And those materials include threads, they include collagen, etc. And of course leather. But there is for food, and in the US leads the way in much of this stuff. The USDA, Department of Agriculture, and the FDA, which is the drug regulator, Food and Drug Administration, jointly regulate meat, but FDA on its own regulates fish. So we think that the fish will be on the market by the beginning of next year. We're almost there, right? So 2022. And meat will be about 18 months away. It'll be the same for novel foods in the European Union, and probably the same for the UK. We have some companies in the UK, but we're not a leader in the field yet, and we should be a leader because the opportunity is sky high, and we import half of our food. Some of the food insecure countries, such as the UAE or Arabian countries or Singapore, are ahead of the game. And in Singapore, you're already getting chicken nuggets by Just Eat on sale, just cell-based chicken nuggets. And in Israel, Anthony Chow, I think you know, my colleague at Agronomics, and his colleague Laura Turner have recently been there and eaten chicken nuggets from Supermeat, which is one of our portfolio companies, and they couldn't tell the difference. And so you know, we're very close to mass commercialization of this stuff. This is not something that's 10 or 20 years away. We're here.
So what is Jim Mellon exactly talking about? He's talking about BlueNalu. He doesn't really mention specifically, but have a look. This is the pilot plant that BlueNalu plans to build. And what I'm actually thinking is that this pilot plant, even though BlueNalu hasn't specifically announced it, I think it's pretty much finished, or it should be at least already capable of producing food. And that's really, really fast, because it was only in 2020 that they got the funding to start on this plant. But I think what they did, they didn't actually build a fully new plant. I think they bought an existing an existing building and then reworked that to a plant of BlueNalu. And I think that's why it all happened so fast. And I think that's the commercialization, the approval that Jim Mellon is talking about. So I think next year we can expect an approval for BlueNalu. We can see actually photos of their new offices here, and I think probably we'll see a commercialization not that long after. So BlueNalu has stated already they requested for approval, and that's currently pending. And let's hope it drops Q1 2022, like Jim is saying. And once that is happening, I think we're going to see a very, very green month for our cultured meat stocks and agronomics in particular. Guys, I'm just a small-time YouTuber, so if you like my channel, please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.